Have you ever met someone and knew instantly that they were going to become a huge part of your life? Well, that's exactly what happened whenever I met my boyfriend. Hi, my name is Erica Yarbrough, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit of our love story. First, though, you'll need a little bit of background on both of us. I originally had met my boyfriend 2 years to the exact day whenever we first started dating, but we had lost contact and hadn't spoken since. In February of 2016, I had my first, what I guess you would call my first boyfriend. I didn't like to consider him that, but most people would. He verbally and mentally abused me to the point where I developed 2 different eating disorders. And about a week before I had left, I told him that I was going to be going to a camp where I wouldn't have cell service for a week. He then proceeded to break up with me. My best friend at the time was someone that I told everything to. And whenever I told him that I had stopped eating, he then made it his personal mission to make sure that I made a full recovery. Whenever the breakup happened, though, I genuinely considered not going to a camp that I loved since the minute I first stepped on the grounds in 2013. But my best friend convinced me to go and made sure that it would help me heal from the breakup. Dylan, on the other hand, he and his 3 brothers were in a foster family at the time, and he had actually been trying to recover from depression. A week before camp, though, he was actually released from a mental hospital from dealing with some mental illness. His foster parents happened to be the dean and the dean's wife at the camp that week. And the way our camp works, the dean is the person who makes and sets rules for the week and makes sure that we follow them and keeps everybody safe, makes our plans, that kind of thing. They made Dylan and all 3 of his brothers go. When I finally got to camp, it was supper time on about the 12th. I was so excited to see my best friend that I ran up to him and hugged him. Honestly, it kind of looked like a scene from a movie. Darren, which is the dean and was Dylan's foster dad at the time, had assigned me to a family group with 2 of my friends. He had explained that there would be 4 teams, 2 boys teams and 2 girls teams, and a boy team and a girl team would combine to make a family group. And after chapel that night, he had, told us that our family group leaders would tell us where we were going to meet for our activity because we were supposed to do a team bonding. That's when I found out that Dylan was in my team. And actually, I'd recognized him from 2 years before whenever I thought I was never going to see him again. I was so shocked to see this kid, and actually, the first time I saw him, he was spray painting a tree. So I just saw him as being a really disrespectful kid, someone who didn't like rules, wasn't really my type of person because I was a very strict rule follower. When I told him to stop spray painting the tree, he then later told me that was whenever he decided he wanted nothing to do with me, and that he found me very annoying from that moment on. But eventually, it came out that 2 of my best friends ended up dating. My best friend that I mentioned earlier and one of our friends. They started dating and they didn't tell me, and of course I was really upset because I'd asked them straight away if they were dating and they both lied to me. And of course, after just being broken up with, I wasn't really feeling like being lied to. And they asked, hey, we know this guy that likes you. If we get you together with him, will it make up for it? And they'd asked me so many times that eventually I just agreed because I just wanted them to leave me alone. And so I told them that it would be okay. And that night at dinner, Dylan started sitting with my group instead of with his friends. And he did that for pretty much the whole day, that day, and it was just kind of weird to me. And later that night, whenever we all went night swimming in the pool that was on camp, he swam up to me and very shyly, very awkwardly asked me to be his girlfriend. And I said yes. Like I said, just to get my friends to leave me alone. And he kind of just looked at me and he goes, wait, let me try that again. And then didn't talk to me for the majority of the rest of the day. So we went to bed and we went up to the next night, and Dylan and I and our friends had hung out the whole next day together. His best friend Alex joined us, and it was me, my 2 best friends, Dylan and Alex, all day long. It was so much fun. And that night, our activity for the night happened to be an open mic night. I am someone who's very shy, very quiet, and one of my friends had convinced me to get up in front of the whole camp and sing with her, and basically the whole time I was looking at Dylan because he had become a sense of comfort. I don't know why, just something about him was comforting to me. And then Dylan and my best friend and a bunch of the other guys, and actually one of what we call our male counselors is a dorm dad. One of the dorm dads got up in front of the whole camp and told Christian pickup lines. And the whole time, Dylan would look at me and smile and just get this big old goofy grin on his face, and I loved it. I thought it was so cute. And we then proceeded to go into the pool for night swimming that night, and he swam up to me, asked me one of the cheesy pickup lines, I don't remember which, and then asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes. And actually, a little funny part that I have to include, a friend of ours that was a preacher that was helping out at the week told us initially that we wouldn't last more than 15 minutes, so every time we see him, we joke around that we are still proving him wrong to this day. I just think that it's a very cute part to add, especially because Dylan and I are actually planning on being married next summer. Sometime around this next year, he's already told me that he plans on proposing and for us to be engaged. And we've always talked about, since we met on the same day that we ended up dating 2 years later, we've always talked about getting married on that day. So yeah, that's my crazy random love story. My name is Erica Yarbrough, and I hope you enjoyed.